Hey guys, good morning. It's about 5 o'clock here in the morning in Orlando, Florida. I'm on another trip with one of my kids to Disney, and I'm going to be hanging out here for probably about a month. And, it's a new year, by the way. Happy New Year. So if you're checking us out at the beginning of 26, here, Happy New Year's to you and your family, and much more abundance and blessings to you. While I reflect at the end of every year, typically the end of December is when I do that. I was looking back into old files and folders and videos, and I came across some videos that are just have never really surfaced. They were more like recorded from live event trainings, but maybe private events, private trainings, one-on-one consults, stuff like that. So I thought for a second, I said, okay, well, since I'm not going to be recording so much on this trip, I'm going to post some of the old stuff in the past that I've done. And you might find some nuggets there. I'll try to match the title with the topic in the video. I know this time of the year is a time we always reflect on the past, but also how we look forward towards the future. And I'm really excited about what's coming out in the future. New problems, new challenges, and new things being launched. And I want to share those things with you in the upcoming videos. But for now, if you're interested in some of the classics, I'm going to be posting some of the classics this month into January. And then when I get back to Uganda, I'll be back to my normal schedule. But meanwhile, if you want to wish you a Happy New Year, and I'll see you real soon.
We'll cover that a little bit today about how to sell more, knowing who your target audience is. But here's the thing, his biggest issue wasn't about can he sell, it was about the belief that he could make more money. It was about the belief that could he make more money. It wasn't about doing the job. It wasn't about can he sell something, right? It was about the belief that he could actually make more money than he ever did. And sometimes that's the biggest challenge for a lot of people. It's the belief system. It's what we believe about money. It's what we believe about people with money. It's what we believe about people without money. There's everything that shapes your income is going to happen right up here, right in between your ears, as I like to say. Your income is going to be determined by what you believe, what you think, and the 5 people that are around you that you're closest friends with. There's five closest people. If you were to think about these people in your life right now, if you took the 5 closest people in your life, your income is probably right around their income. Could be right about the same. There may be one that makes a little bit more, there may be one that makes a little bit less, but if you were to average it all out, your common 5 people that you hang out with the most, friends, are probably making the same amount of money. And the reason why that is because as humans, it's natural for us to just adapt to the people that we feel comfortable with. So sometimes if we don't feel comfortable around certain people that may make more money than us, we might feel like we're intimidated. Sometimes we don't feel like we want to hang out with people who have less money than us because of a certain type of feeling or a certain type of way, right? So if you think about that, if you change the people that are in your circle, your 5 circle, right? If you change those people, your life will change. So his thing was, his 5 people that were around him were all other drug dealers. That was his circle. Those are the people that he knew, people who were in and out of jail. And he had to change his influence, and he had to change the belief system. So what I did was, I told him, I said, the first thing you have to do is you have to change your friends. You have to change the people that you're hanging out with. And so he's like, okay, I'll try to find some new friends. So he did, slowly found some new people to hang out with. All he did was he stopped hanging out with the people that were doing the bad stuff. He slowly started making new friends, right? People that he wanted to get good influence from. So he changed his friends. Then he was wondering, okay, how do I go from $300 US a week to $1,000 US a week, right? That was his goal. He wanted to make $1,000 US a week. That was his goal. He never did it before, but he wanted to make it happen. How did he do it? How was he going to do it, right? First was the belief system, right? He had the method. The method was sales. But he had to change what he thought about that money. He had to think about, is it going to make me a bad person? What are people going to think of me? What if I do have a lot of money? Am I going to lose my friends? Are my friends just going to constantly ask me for money? Are people going to look at me a certain type of way if I dress differently? These are all real common things. You ever experienced this before? Yeah. You've probably seen people that have before too. All right, so I want to share something with you about money that can have a big impact, and we'll cover this after the break as well. But I need a volunteer, one volunteer to come up here. So I need one volunteer, someone who's willing, motivated. Need a volunteer. You? Okay, come on up. You can come right over here. All right, so you say your doctor, what? Okay, I want to call you doctor. All right, so doctor, I want you to, do you remember a time where you were just completely broke, no money, and you were wondering where you were going to get the money? Do you remember a time like that? You do? Okay. Can you show us by just walking across, how did you feel? How did you, show us, give us an example, a little drama. How did you feel when you had no money? Try to relive and think about that and just act as if that moment was real again. Yeah, you can walk across. Okay, down, okay. All right, stretch it out. All right. That's how it was, right? Okay. Talking to yourself and head down. Everybody notice that? Talking to himself, head down, right? Okay. Now, not what you regularly make, but a day you made a little bit more money than you ever had. You're like, oh, I never made this much before. Show us by movement and walking. What was it like that day? What did that look like that day?
Actually, I can't do it.
Can't do it.
I need space.
Why do you need space?
Describe.
Okay.
I'll just describe. This was the day I had finished medical school and I didn't have a job. I was just an intern in a lot of struggle. Then the guy called me up and says, "Are you available?" I used to work at the HIV clinic, Olago ISS. And he calls me and he's like, "Are you available? I have a position for you with Doctors Without Borders." I remember shouting. I walked out of the room shouting, and everyone still wonders today what was wrong with me. The reason I was shouting was this. That day, the day before, I had not had supper. You know, it happened with internet, okay? I didn't have supper the day before, and I was there, you have to smile, you have to do a lot of things. These guys are in pain, you have to show them that there is a future. So this guy calls me up and is like, you know, we're going to be chartering a flight for you for Germany and back. I've never taken a plane. And he told me, we're going to start small. We're going to be giving you $1,000 every month. And I was like, stop. That's enough. I shouted all over the place and actually went back home. Immediately. I didn't go back.
That's awesome.
I just went home, prepared, packed my bags, and the next day I was home.
That's awesome.
So you went.
Thank you. Isn't that great? Awesome. Did you notice how when people are broke, when we are broke, have no money, did you see how it's like, you walk like this, what am I going to do? Walking like this, you start getting sweating and all that stuff, right? Yeah. There's a negative energy there. Negative energy. You know, actually, sometimes when you go home, maybe to your family or your friends, do you ever feel like you're like yelling at them because you're so stressed? Yeah. Okay. Then you had a great experience, money's coming into your life, and I'm sure there's other people who have experienced, oh, I got more money. You start walking a little different, right? So like, chest comes out, us guys, our chest comes out. The girls are like, oh, which bag am I gonna go buy? What dress am I gonna get? We're just a different energy, right? You agree? Yeah, different energy. This is a very, very important thing about money. Very important thing. If you're always living in that mindset of negative energy about money, it won't come to you. It'll be very difficult. You can have no money, but yet be positive about your situation. Believe that something better is going to come. You want to remain in the attitude of gratitude, grateful for what you have that day, right? If you're here, that means you're above the ground down there, right? You're not under the dirt, right? So immediately to attain wealth, to feel wealthy, you have to be grateful for what you already have, no matter how much it is. That's how you can immediately change your feeling about wealth, is by being grateful for what you already have. Then that energy, that happiness comes into your life. Because if you're grateful for being alive, having air, food, whatever it is, if you're grateful for the little things, it changes the energy. And then guess what? Opportunities come to you because the energy is different. But if your energy is always stressed and you're wondering how is it going to happen, all that stuff, you're just going to bring in negative energy. Negative energy is just going to pile on, and it's not, more money's not going to flow. There's a saying, you might want to write this down. It goes, money flows where energy goes. Money flows where energy goes. And this is so true because you've probably seen some big projects happen, maybe in town, or maybe you wonder, wow, how does that happen so fast? How does that business take off so quickly? Or how does a building get built so fast? Well, there's energy there. Money goes where energy flows. And when there's good energy, money will move in that area. Money will move there. It could be a partnership, it could be a funding of a deal, whatever it may be.